What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop back here again. We are here. It's college basketball. We got tournament starting tomorrow officially. Obviously, have our play-in game starting last night with North Carolina and some crazy 16 seed action. So obviously some good games. North Carolina, not so much, but we got college basketball to talk about, man. It's gonna be a fun day. I'm super excited. This is what you do it for, right? This is what we prep for, watch the games for, and just expecting some madness here. So joined as always by my guys too. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm getting excited. It's that time of year where everything else kind of goes to the wayside and you lock in on some March Madness. And, you've been following it all year. So obviously you're a lot more, tapped in than I am. But I think it's the same whether you're a casual fan or a hardcore fan. Like everyone wants to win their brackets. Everyone wants to win money. And yeah, it's a good time. I'm super excited to break down some bets, to go over some brackets and, answer some questions along the way. Hopefully you can answer some of my questions, especially.
Yeah, it's these are some big games. Obviously I'm kind of in the weeds as always on these, but I'm expecting some good basketball. And I'm hoping everybody in here is excited to kind of talk about it. So we got 15 of you guys in here in the first minute and a half. We appreciate you. Kind of expect this one to be a little bigger show. Obviously, here for questions. Hopefully, we'll be able to help. And hopefully, we'll make some money on the show. And let me, first off, get a quick recap in because your bet was the only one that went through. Because I had Jokic. This is a surprising sit. I was not expecting that. I really don't have anything else on that. I didn't know him or Murray were questionable even at all.
That's what you get this time of year. We've got a couple voids, where they've got us with the late injuries, but hey, it's not stopping us. Still had a profitable show. But yeah, that was weird. Definitely didn't expect that one there. But yeah, it was a good show. Cashed Devin Vassell over 4.5 first quarter points. Felt good. You got the job done nice and easy. And yeah, love the first quarter market. Hopefully we can go back to that one again because definitely like the spot.
Yeah, no, it's it was a good look. Obviously, the Spurs game was an entertaining game, as I feel like all of them will be for the rest of the year with a lot of young guys. So obviously we're excited to cash another one. I think that's 11 now. I think 11 in a row on the show. 33 and 21, 14.3 units, and we're back again today. But obviously going to be talking a little bit of college basketball. We appreciate you guys. 11 in a row. I don't know if we've had a longer streak. I know individually we've had some decent streaks on the show throughout the year. But hopefully we can keep this going because obviously 11 straight winners is not something that comes around too much.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, perfect time of the year. Just like we talked about in March Madness, you got that momentum going. You want the team that's getting hot at the right time. It's the same way with betting. And we're getting hot at the right time. So hopefully we can keep it up.
Yeah, let me pull up the bracket first. I'm going to pull up the bracket and kind of share it on our screen here so we can kind of have it split up so we can take a look because I'm sure not only you having questions or anybody else having questions here, I want to make sure that we can just kind of slide around and make sure we can get to all the spots here. But I guess my first question would be Stu, have you made a bracket already? Are you already locked in for bracket time?
Yeah, I've got a bracket. I was telling you for the show, I do need to make another one because I don't want to be cooked weekend one like last year where I'm just sitting there like, that's no fun when your only bracket's kind of done. So I'll probably mix it up a little bit more this year. But yeah, my biggest thing is I just got so much chalk. Like I've got so many one seeds. You hate to build it out like that. Where it's just all ones and, there's a 2 in there. I want to mix it up a little bit more. But, yep, have my bracket ready to go, and hopefully I can win at least a little bit of money this year. But hasn't happened in a little bit.
Are you just doing them with buddies, or how are you doing yours?
Yeah, I'll be in a couple group chat, kind of March Madness ones. I'll probably have a family one going as well with some extended family in there. which is a lot less sharp. That's the one you can go with the Vegas lines on, and you follow the expected chalk a little bit more. I think that's a big thing with brackets versus betting, is like knowing what pool you're in. If you're with coworkers and stuff like that, and it's going to be super casual, then you really can lean on the betting lines. You can lean on the chalk. But if it is going to be a larger pool, a huge tournament, one of these ESPN ones, then you have to mix it up and you have to get different. And it really kind of informs your process for building that bracket.
Yeah, no, I feel like just kind of looking at some of these draws too, there's just some that are distinctly better draws than others. I will say, I know I was a hater of Michigan State a little bit earlier, but I kind of like their draw here in this spot. I like their draw, and then I feel like outside of that first matchup with Gonzaga after this first round, if Gonzaga wins, which again isn't a fully locked in there win for Gonzaga because I think they're only 6-point favorites. But I mean, Houston getting to play Tennessee, I feel like Tennessee is probably the weakest 2 seed of all of them that are out there. So I feel like this would be a fun one, but I do want to make sure I get that out of the way early. Is it doesn't matter, and this is kind of something I want to talk about too, is it doesn't matter what they've done now throughout the year. The shit don't matter. Like now it's just win and go home, right? So like Michigan State, I wasn't high on going to the Big Ten tournament, but I mean, man, I kind of like their road here, dude. I do. And I don't know, dude. Bruce Pearl hasn't shown me much in March in a minute. So I kind of like them. I'll make a little run here. I know that's your team, but just thought I'd throw that out there that it doesn't matter, what teams have done prior anymore. It's all about right now and how we move forward here.
Yeah, I mean, I like to hear that. I definitely did take Michigan State. Like one team, I was looking at in that region, Iowa State is a 3 seed. I heard a lot of people say that they had real big ambition for them earlier in the season, right? They had some crazy runs. Then they've had some injuries since then. Like they're a team that I've heard some people say like would be a good team to kind of avoid. Like I've seen them as like a sleeper pick or whatever. What do you think about Iowa State? Are they a team that's going to fade in the tournament? Could Lipscomb knock them off?
No, Lipscomb ain't going to be able to beat them. My issue is I'm pretty sure Gilbert's out for the foreseeable future. That's number 1, number 2 guy. It's up to you if you want to give him the number 1 title, but bro, that's huge. That's like Richardson missing for Michigan. Like you just can't take that out and expect to just flip a switch here, dude. Like I'm not that. If Iowa State was fully healthy, sure, but Michigan State's big enough, right? I don't think that's an issue. They have enough bigs to compete there. But yeah, I'm not as worried about Iowa State with the injuries and just kind of the style they play. You can't really have that many injuries, right? You're a very physical team, and they're not that deep, right? They're not that deep where you're going to be able to have a guy come off the bench and fill in Gilbert's spot because that's a tough spot.
Yeah, no, this whole region's been kind of interesting. Even North Carolina, who right above them, just played fantastic last night. Was hitting like every single 3. Are you the kind of guy that wants to ride that momentum, or are we kind of fading maybe an overreaction from the public who just watched North Carolina shut up a bunch of haters last night? Like, are we riding that wave, or are we kind of saying like, okay, maybe we're overreacting at this point?
I'm fine with riding it for the first game. I don't think it's going to do too much after. Ole Miss will play the style that they want to play. That's the issue. They're going to kind of want to play it that way. I still don't think that they're going to win, in my opinion. I'm not going to take them to win. But I saw because they're favored. Now they're favored against Ole Miss. So I'm like, I'll take the points. I'll take the Ole Miss points and hope a team doesn't shoot 60% from 3 like they did last night on me.
Yeah, I think, it's a little bit scary when a team just played that well. But obviously, like you said, they opened up as favorites. I don't see the people betting against them. A lot of people just saw the exact best outcome they could have possibly seen with this team, So I feel like the momentum is going to be there. And I think the betting public will probably be supporting North Carolina, especially because it's just a classic brand. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's a little tougher this year now that Duke is like good, but like fading like really historically good teams, I feel like that aren't in their prime is kind of like a good March Madness strategy, just because so many people that don't follow the sport regularly are just going to be kind of auto clicking those names that they always recognize and they always know are historically good.
No, 100% agree. I agree with you. But yeah, like I said, I now that I'm getting points, I'm going to definitely be leaning Ole Miss. And obviously, a strength of schedule, getting SEC caliber teams every single day out there. I think it hurts some teams. I think it's good for some teams, and I think that this is a good spot for me to take Ole Miss as a underdog here, I guess, as a 6 seed, which is kind of weird to say.
Yeah, no, I probably will be too. It feels scary to say that, I guess, but
any other games you kind of want to talk about in this region?
Yeah,
talk about a little bit.
For me, I mean, I think it's one of the first games to start us off too. Louisville Creighton is one I've seen smart people on both sides talk about. I've seen people that I respect a little bit more actually on the Louisville side, but the common thing I feel like you keep hearing is that Creighton, obviously Kalkbrenner, the big guy, he could maybe present more of a problem in round 2 if they survive this one, especially, and they could maybe even be a threat to Auburn is what, I've been seeing, like the size versus size. So I'm curious where you stand on this one, because this feels like it has big implications going forward.
Yeah, this is the first game. I believe this is the first game of the whole slate. Mm-hmm. I lean with Creighton. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet it, but I'm going to be taking them in my brackets. I'll probably, if I do 3 brackets, I'll do 2 Creighton, 1 Louisville, just because I don't really like Ashworth, but he's obviously been doing pretty well. Kalkbrenner's been he's a senior there. He's defensive player of the year in that conference 3 times. Like, it's just a tough thing to deal with. I know Louisville I can't remember his last name for the life of me right now. Hopefully somebody in the chat can. But Louisville losing, I think their leading scorer in their was it preseason tournament. He tore his ACL, and it really kind of put a wrench in it. Now they're playing well. But again, my issue is Louisville shouldn't be an 8 seed, right? They shouldn't be an 8 seed, but Creighton's been playing against better competition in season. They've had a lot more close games. When we have spreads that are 2-3 points, probably going to lean with the team that's probably had to deal with it a little bit more. And obviously Pop Isaac being out for the year kind of sucks for Creighton. But we've seen Ashworth step up. I gotta remember that guy's name, Jackson something. I think his first name's Jackson. He's a freshman for Creighton. I'm gonna lean with them. I know Pat Kelsey's kind of been everybody's kind of loved him with how he's been kind of handling everything. I think Pat Kelsey's a great coach. I just don't think I'm not gonna take Hepburn in the Cardinals here against a very, very experienced Creighton Blue Jays team.
That's fair. And then do you think Creighton has a shot in round 2? Are they a possible upset candidate? Or is that a little bit crazy?
I won't be taking it. I guess I could see it just because you have, Janai Broom being the best player and having to play through him. And you have probably one of the best defensive centers in the league. And we haven't really seen Broom step out and shoot that much either. So I think that could be a good spot. Definitely this could be a spot that we could see a pretty big step up here. For Auburn, and they really haven't been playing that well either. So, and I think this is a tough bracket too for a team that has been struggling a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's one spot where I'll try to get a little different. Like if I make 3 brackets, I might take 1 Creighton upset like in the second round, and I've taken them a decent amount with like Kalkbrenner and your guy back in the day. It wasn't Baylor Shireman over here.
Shireman.
Yeah, who's even had a couple of good games for Boston so far this year. So they've done me some good in the past. I think that's probably one spot I'll try to get a little bit different and take some upsets. The final one I'll touch on real quick, just because it's in this region, and I feel like the chalkiest bet in the world on day 1.
I assume it's this one.
Yeah, I took UC San Diego. It was +3. People were saying it was going to close like even or whatever. I was like, okay, I'll take it. That hasn't really happened. It's 2.5 right now still. It feels like this is the chalkiest bet in the world. So I just want to ask you, am I cooked? Is it over for me? Am I done?
I'm hoping more people are like you and taking the Tritons here, dude. I know they're a good team. I've played them quite a bit. They were the number 1 covering team for a while, and I know that's what everybody's talking about here. I know they shoot the ball well. Yada, yada, yada. You can go down the board. My issue is, can you handle Michigan size? That's really what it is, right? We've seen like what Big Ten teams struggle with the size of Michigan, right? That's the issue is you're playing 2 7-footers who can run a pick and roll together. Like you just don't see that. I also want to give my big shouts because I know that this guy is in this conference or in this bracket in the Yale Bulldogs and they're recruiting. I believe Jones is the last name of their coach. Hell of a job because Dustin Wolf, the guy, or I don't know if it's Dustin Wolf or whatever
Danny.
Wolf it is. Danny. Dustin Wolf is the goalie for Calgary. I've been watching too much hockey. So that is my issue right now. But that's my thing is, can you guard that? Like when I'm looking at their team, they have their 3 top scorers are all guards. I mean, obviously they're scoring 80 points a game, which I don't know if you want to get in an up and down affair here with Michigan. I think that might be the way you kind of have to, so they can't get into their half court. I'm definitely a bigger fan of the guards on the Triton side, but fuck, dude, 2 7-footers is just you don't see that, right? They have like the thought process of Purdue, right? Remember when Purdue always would have a fucking 7-footer, and then on their bench a freshman 7-footer waiting to take that 7-footer spot.
Yeah.
Also, you have Dusty May on that side. Makes it a little tougher, right? Because May obviously has already taken a team to the Final Four, made some runs there with FAU. Vlad Golden is a monster down there. We just saw them win. My issue is they just played, so that kind of could give you a little bit as well, that they played later than any other team. But I'm definitely leaning with Michigan. It's a tough spot because obviously San Diego has been a beast. I think the last guy's name is Jones, being the guard for them. And I just don't want to trust teams that have to rely on 3-point shooting all the time, right? And that's really the issue when you're going into a neutral court, right? And you have a team shooting 37% from 3 like the Tritons are, multiple guys at 38%, right? That's how you in a neutral site, right? That makes me a little bit more nervous when a team really relies on it. So I don't have to rely on threes when I got 2 7-footers to grab every fucking rebound.
Yeah, so that's what everyone talks about. It's like the Tritons, they do so well with the forcing turnovers, and then Michigan
they're very good. Yep.
over a lot. And then on the other side, it's just size. And can you deal with that size? What do we think about rebounds? Then Golden is at 7.5, and I see Danny Wolf 9.5. Are either of those live for overs then?
I will not be betting a prop in that game. No, I'm not going to play it. I have very few props that I'll play in these types of games. I feel like rebounds is definitely the spot you would want to go. I don't want to bet too many points, except unless it's like a Dickinson or a Sears or somebody that you know is going to take a lot of shots.
Yeah.
My issue is I've seen enough of this, like SEC Big Ten foul trouble in the tournament. It comes to light here because they're very physical because you have to be, and I'm kind of worried about some of these ref shows because we've seen quite a few games where that has been the case.
That's fair. Yeah, everyone talks about the 7-footers, so I figured rebounds would probably be the way to go to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, I will be passing on a spot like that. I also want to make sure I point out that I believe Wolf is shooting a decent amount of threes this year. He's shooting like 34% from 3 as a 7-footer. So just something else to put out there. Like these guys aren't just fucking Jared Allens. These aren't just like Andre Drummond's. Like these are guys who shoot. Vlad Golden, not as much. I think he's shot 33s, 37% on 33s though. So I mean, they have the ability to stretch the defense. That's why I said the pick and roll, the pick and pop with 7-footers just isn't something you see very much.
100%.
Maybe we move to the next region. I might. This one will be an interesting one because there's a lot of. I feel like this is the region of all upsets. To be honest, like I feel like a lot of people are going to the West and taking a lot of these first round upsets.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. As someone that's not been super tapped in, a team I have seen a lot of people hype up is Florida recently, just like the advanced analytics guys. I feel like I see a lot of stuff about Florida. So that is a team that I took a decent amount of. But outside of that, I mean, it seems pretty wide open. Even a team like UConn, someone that's a casual like me, I mean, seeing them dominate these last couple of years and then now be an 8th seed is just kind of surprising off the bat. Like, are they a team that could do something this year? Are people going to take them off of name value alone, or is that a team that's probably not going anywhere?
For UConn, I mean, I don't think they're beating Florida, so it doesn't really bother me.
Gotcha.
Nothing to say on that.
That's fair. Well, what do you care about in this one? I know you've been I have a prop bet in one of these, but I'm curious what you think about this Memphis Colorado State game.
Yeah, dude, I get it. Memphis is not. I need to know the injuries. I saw that there were some injuries on Memphis just because they just played, and now you're starting to see all that. But I like Memphis. Honestly, I don't like Penny as a coach, but I don't like him as a favorite. They're getting dog money right now, dude. Like, I'm getting 3 points. I get it. Colorado State's hot. I get it. I know. But Dane Danger, I like, obviously, Haggerty in there too. I mean, Haggerty's the type of guard that can take you into games. Like, can win you games by himself. He put up 40, bro. He put up 40 in the freaking championship game or semifinal game. I definitely want to lean Memphis here. I feel like Colorado State's going to be like the dog pick. They're not even a dog, dude. They're 3-point favorites. Like, give me those points, bro. Give me Memphis. I'm going to take that as I'll take that as an official play here on the show with Memphis at the +2. And I got 3. I posted that 3 days ago when these came out, and I got Memphis at 3. But I believe it's +2.5 right now. I can get a -108 on the 2.5. Sign me up for that. I think that's going to be a spot where I'm not taking the the team in Colorado State that's running hot. You got to take a week off. Now you got Memphis here, dude. I prefer them as dogs. So give me Memphis.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like Memphis. I took Dane Danger over 18.5 points in this one as well. I watched him play in that finals game, and he wasn't even the leading scorer or anything, but his style of basketball was just so, like, he just attacked the rim over and over again. He was just aggressive. I liked when he had the ball in his hands. He was going for a shot, and from what I've seen in Colorado State, it seems like the interior may not be the strongest in the world. I don't know if they're used to playing physical, fast teams like Memphis all the time, but it seems like a different level of athleticism. So I don't know. This seems like a solid kind of game for Memphis. From what I've seen, like you said, they got Haggerty. They have multiple guys that can, put up big numbers, and that's what you want. You want multiple reliable scorers this time of year. So I don't know. Seems like it's going to be a good game, but yeah, I like Memphis as well. And I took the danger prop for 20 points there.
Yeah. No, obviously they're pretty much relying on 2 dudes right now. My issue is Colorado State had issues at the beginning of the year. They just come together and shot well. And obviously won the conference tournament, but I don't know, man. I hate to bring up how bad this conference has been, but I like New Mexico, but I mean, we just saw San Diego State get ran out the gym last night in this conference. And they've just been notoriously pretty bad. So I think New Mexico wins. Obviously, they're playing Marquette. And you got baby Patino out there. That team's actually playing defense now, which is nice. But definitely want to kind of stay away from Colorado State. I think the market's kind of giving them a lot of praise here, and I'm going to stay away.
Sounds good to me. And what about that next round matchup then, Maryland, Grand Canyon? Because I'm near Maryland. I'm friends with some Maryland alumni. And I do get questions about them, and unfortunately I never have any answers because I haven't watched them play at all. I know they got the big guy that's been playing good this year, but do they have a real chance at going far? Because it feels like no one believes in them. But I want far. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen a lot of love for Maryland.
Okay, that's
I've
good.
seen a lot of Maryland love. I mean, some of their odds are pretty crazy here. Pretty good odds. I think they're plus 360 to make the Elite 8, right? I mean, that's not crazy. And I definitely think they have a chance against Florida. I think that'll be probably one of their toughest games for Florida. Obviously, Florida's been a wagon lately, but Maryland's good, dude. Derek Queen is good. That guy is very, very good. My issue with Maryland is they have no bench. They have absolutely no bench. But fuck, dude, their top 5 could play with anybody, dude. Like they could win this region. Like they could. I just don't want to get in front of that. I've seen enough of these games where one guy gets in foul trouble, and then you're playing with. I don't want to say shit, but you're definitely down the list.
Interesting. Okay, so what a potential like Maryland versus Memphis matchup? You'd be good with Maryland going through that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Queen would be good enough to play against Danger. Like,
yeah,
he's better than Danger, to be honest. Like, I don't think that's crazy to say either. Like, this dude's a fucking monster. He's a freshman, 6'10", averaging 16 and 9 in the Big Ten. Like, that's a dude, man. That's an absolute dude. And we just talked about Michigan, right? We just talked about how good those guys are. This dude went for 17 and 12 and then 31 and 3 against those guys, against 2 7-footers. So I would not be taking Memphis any further.
Sounds good. No, I mean, that's good. I want to take Maryland. It's like just like earlier with Michigan State. You give me any reason, I'll take them. Like those are teams I want to root for. So I will be making some shifts in my bracket. Probably I did take Memphis over Maryland, but I'll probably switch that around now because especially if you said they could even give Florida a run for their money, that would be awesome. So
yeah. My issue is I think that Grand Canyon can cover the 11 points against Maryland. Mm-hmm. That's the thing is like. I'm just saying, like, in my bracket, I would definitely take – I don't think I would take 11 against them. I think if I'm doing anything, I'd probably take the over there maybe.
Interesting. Yeah, and I'm probably going to look at the player props, because I want to – I love player props, I don't want to have a total or a spread bet on every game. Got to mix it up a little bit here. But yeah, are there any other games in this region you care about? I've seen some bad stats about St. John's just in general with like teams, like trends historically looking at them. Are you a believer in St. John's this year?
Yeah. I like their defense. I like how they play. I don't think that Florida would be a great matchup for them. So you kind of want them to get to that Maryland game. I think they'd beat Maryland. But if it's Florida St. John's, I'd probably I'd definitely be taking Florida in that game.
Sounds good. Yeah, I don't know. I have St. John's just kind of beating the chalk, but I don't really have much for that. I don't know much about Texas Tech or have any strong takes on them. So yeah, I don't really.
Yeah, they're too injury prone. We can move to the east, move up to the top right bracket over there.
Yeah, we got Duke to start out. I mean, they'll probably take care of business, obviously, in round 1 right there. I mean, are you a Duke believer this year? Cooper Flagg has the injury. I mean, for a lot of NBA guys like myself, I mean, we're pretty much giving up our whole second half of the season for this guy. Is he the real deal one, and is he going to be back and healthy and lead these guys to the promised land?
I actually – what do I have? I think I have Duke in my Final Four. I just think that some of these matchups, I think this would be interesting. I want Baylor to win just so I can see Edgecombe play against Flagg because Edgecombe's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft as well. So be a fun game to watch just to see some high-level talent like that because he's been in and out of the lineup a lot too, but that'll be a fun game too. I'm excited for that game.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I know Baylor historically has cashed some tickets for me. I don't know how good they are this year, obviously, but would definitely.
That'll be a good basketball game. Baylor versus Mississippi State. I mean, Hubbard on one side, obviously very, very good. Edgecombe, top 5 pick in the draft, very good. I think that'll be a fun game to watch if you're looking to enjoy a good basketball game where you don't have to watch a 30-point spread game. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And right under it, we got the 5-12. Is this going to be a 5-12 upset? I've seen a couple people pick Liberty. I could never pick Liberty in any sport, to be honest. I don't think those guys are good at anything. But
I mean, why?
I don't know.
Like that's what I mean. Like, what has Liberty done to show you that they could actually play here? I know they could make it a shitty game. Like you could just make it a dogfight type game. But like Biddle's pretty fucking good, dude. He's an older guy, 14-7, shot the 3 ball well. They are elite free throw shooters. Like I'm good with rolling Oregon out here, dude. I'm good with rolling Oregon. I almost want them to cover. I almost think they'll cover. I don't bet spreads much in that first round and in some of these closer games, but I definitely think I would take the favorite here. If I'm going to take a lot more dogs in the first round on the spread, I would definitely lean with the -6.5 on Oregon. I just think physicality-wise, I definitely would lean with Oregon. I watched a few of their games, obviously them and being in the Big Ten now. I was pretty impressed. They got some dudes. They got some shooters. I think it was what the fuck was his name? Shellstead, yeah, something like that. Against the Badgers, cooked us. Yeah, I don't know. I have no other. That game sucked because I watched that game. They were in Madison and they just, they were down. They were down like 15 points, came back, took them to overtime and won. And obviously we've seen how good the Badgers have been playing lately. And that was a big loss for them. And obviously Oregon in the same bracket now. I definitely like that Oregon team. I'm assuming you're going to ask me about this one next. Because you guys know I love my Zips, man, but this is a terrible first round matchup for them. I'm sorry. This is terrible.
What about an over then? What about an over?
I'm checking it right now. I'm pulling up the thing. No. 167?
Yeah.
Fuck no. Neutral? Like, hell no. No chance. I am now officially out of this game, even though I love the Zips. Shout out to the Zips, man. Shout out to the MAC, but damn, that's a shitty matchup. Arizona wants to play the same game they want to play. Like, if it's not really a clash of styles, they do the same thing. They're just obviously a little bit more talented.
Yeah, and probably physically dominant as well in the same matchup.
I will say, though, Akron does shoot the 3-ball very well. Very well. They are a very good three-point shooting team. I just talked about it in the past on a couple other shows. Akron's 37% as a team from deep. That's the reason why they would win. But do I want to bet on a peak performance, on a spike performance? I'm not usually that type of guy.
And then what do you believe in Arizona, like more long term, get a little deeper into the tournament? They have Caleb Love, right? He's on that team. That guy sucks. I hate that guy. So for that reason alone, I would never take this team to go far, but I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, no, I don't think they beat Duke. So what is that, Sweet 16? They get a matchup in the Sweet 16 with them. I think Oregon has the guys, has the horses to beat them. I do. I'm very curious to see that because that was a rivalry before, dude. Like, that was a Pac-12 rivalry. They're not there anymore, but interesting to see them come back and play each other now. I think obviously the committee probably did that shit on purpose, but I think that'll be a fun game. That'll be a good game. If they give me points on Oregon, I'd probably lean the points on Oregon there. But yeah, should be a fun game over there.
Yeah, no, I like that. A little old-fashioned rivalry game right there. I'll probably be taking Oregon as well. Just once again, can't get behind Arizona and those guys. Under it, I did make a bet in this one. Hopefully you don't hate it. I took VCU against BYU. I took +3. I've been taking them in my brackets as well. The thing about BYU is they seem like a team that can beat anyone and lose to anyone, right? When you can shoot threes the way they can and you rely on that high volume approach, like that makes you dangerous, but also it makes you susceptible. And VCU, I mean, they're going to try to put the clamps on you. They're going to try to get you off the 3-point line. And it seems like just the style of basketball that BYU absolutely would not want to deal with, like probably one of the worst stylistic matchups. So VCU, they play like dogs. They're a team that always in March has had some success, and I'm going to back them in round 1 and, hey, maybe even a little further. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. This could be a good game. That's like one of the toughest games for me was that one. Just in terms of picking a side to win, right? I think VCU is 2.5 still. I like VCU. I've bet them quite a few times. I don't see either one of them beating Wisconsin. To be honest, just because the Badgers are very good. Like if the Badgers play BYU, that might be one of the most fun games to watch, bro. Like it's going to be Snipe City. My issue is like neither one of those teams, like they're both like obviously VCU is super physical. BYU is pretty much a finesse team, but they shoot very well. I guess my issue is the Badgers just have too much size now. Dude. They're rolling out. They have 2 7-footers too, and that's kind of what's different about this team is like they actually have a guard who can take a game over. We haven't had that shit in how many years, dude? Like Tanjay can take a game over. Yeah, I saw his last game. They sucked, right? They missed all of his shots, but Klesmit's finally back healthy. I think either one of those teams will probably lose to the Badgers. Montana is the luckiest team in the country. I don't know if you know that. That's a Ken Pom stat. They are the number 1 luckiest team in the country. I mean, shit's gonna run out, bro. My issue is the Badgers have to travel to altitude too, which kind of sucks. And that kind of scares me off of some of these games, you know. So like these altitude games make it a little bit tougher for me.
That's fair. Is there any like kind of over in that game you like on the total or anything with Wisconsin?
For which one?
The Wisconsin-Montana one, because I've heard Montana can kind of score, and I've heard they're not going to be able to stop Wisconsin at all. So if Wisconsin's just going to be able to score like crazy and Montana can kind of keep up, then it could probably be a solid over game.
Yeah, I mean, Montana's like 250 in the country. I think they're the – let me check. Let me just check. I want to confirm that they might be the worst. Let me see. They are the third worst defense of any defense in the tournament that made it. And the only ones worse are Alabama State, the team that played last night.
Sure, yeah.
And Nebraska Omaha, who's going to get fucking smoked by St. John's.
Okay.
That's where they're ranked defensively. That just scares me. The Badgers, you're either betting Tanjay or nothing, man. I don't think there's a reason to bet anybody else because it's just like they have 4 other dudes who could score. So it's just like your pick. Like if you think they're going to go inside, I mean, they got Crowell down there. Crowell's been shooting well now, shooting more threes than I would like. I know sports. I don't know if he's trying to rile me up here, but I don't think Montana's just not. They're not good. You know, like that's the thing is they're just not good. Like the Big Sky. I used to bet Eastern. If you guys have been following me for a while, I bet Eastern Washington ad nauseum. I love that team, but like they did things well, right? Montana's going to shoot a ton of threes, right? That's the thing is, can they make all these threes? And if they do, they're probably close. But it's like a 15-point spread. Maybe that's where you go. The Badgers really haven't blown anybody out. That's my thing. So I could see us if you guys want to bet Montana, you know, maybe alternating that number up to like 20 because I just don't see them blowing them out.
I have the over. I have over 152. I took that in this game. So hopefully they score a lot, and then Montana, they hit some threes along the way, you know, keep it somewhat close and cruise to an over. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. Good to see it. Oh, we're going to the next one. We got to go to Bama.
I think so. I mean, this is one I know you've got a little bit to talk about right here at the bottom of this division.
Yeah. You know, everybody's going to be chalk, bro. I feel like everybody's going to be chalk here. I guess my biggest one would be I think St. Mary's wins that Vanderbilt game and then goes and beats Bama. Like, one of my brackets is going to have that, and I feel like that's going to be my spot, right? That's my stand. And I know it's scary, dude. St. Mary's is extremely slow, yada, yada, yada. But we have Saxon, who's a 6'10 senior on St. Mary's, obviously a huge dude. You need to have size when you're playing these types of teams. They have I think their number 2 guys from Lithuania, 6'8 sophomore, who obviously can put up numbers as well. I don't even want to try to say Markelinus. I don't know how to say it. I've watched a few of their games, but I still don't know how to say it. Bro, I just watched this team beat Gonzaga, who's the number 9 ranked Ken Pom team in the country, beat them twice. In the time they lost, Gonzaga scored, 60? Like, that to me, I feel like I got to roll with them, dude. I got to roll with this is the type of team that I want to play with. This is the type of team that I know is going to fight for my money. And I just don't trust this Bama team. I just can't do it anymore. I can't be so heavily reliant on one player in Mark Sears. If Nelson doesn't play, I'm fucking hammering that. Like, the thing is when St. Mary's is good at guarding the 3 ball, like 32% defense. Like, Bama's going to chuck 43s at a neutral court. I just talked to you guys about it. I don't want to bet a team that relies that much on threes. And I get it. They're way more athletic. They're going to want to run. They're going to do all this. But let's look at some of these dudes. Like, Randy Bennett has been an absolute fucking machine, dude. He's been a covering machine. I think they were on like a 14-game win streak before, or not a 14, like a 9-game win streak prior to that. They beat Gonzaga, holding them under 70. They held them under 60 in the game they lost, right? I mean, if you want to go to like earlier games, I just talked about how good that Akron team is. They held Akron under 70, which is pretty fucking impressive in non-conference in a neutral site. I think the craziest game that I would say is they held USC to 30 points, 36 points in a full college basketball game. Like, yeah. I want a team like this, dude. Justin Randy Bennett, I think he's a top 5, maybe top 10, top 5 coach in America. I want that pace. I want him to slow down Bama. I've seen him do it against Gonzaga. I've seen him do it against some other teams as well that are running pace. And yeah, I think that's going to be my stand. There's just too much chalk in this bracket. I gotta break it up a little bit.
No, I like it. I mean, it seems like they check a lot of the boxes you want for this time of year. And I mean, I'm with it. I know you backed Sears a lot in the player prop department as well over the years.
Yes, sir.
And I might even back him against St. Mary's just because from what I was reading, he's kind of the only guy you trust in the mid-range, and St. Mary's is really good at taking away that 3. But they do play a lot of drop coverage as well, which opens up that, little mid-range area. So I don't know. I'd be curious. I know the pace would be slow as hell, but it seems like they'd have to rely extra on him. He'd probably shoot the ball like 23 times in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Chance, like, you could say that for any of these games, bro. Like, okay, UC San Diego shoots 35%, 40% from 3. They definitely could beat Michigan. Like, you could go down the list, like the Texas A&M Yale one. I saw a lot of people talking about that because Yale's good at threes. Like, wonder if they don't. I'm going to get probably what? What do you think the spread's going to be? 12, 11? Bama against St. Mary's, maybe lower. If it's 9 or higher, I'm probably betting St. Mary's on the spread as well. But Bama can't stop anybody. They can't stop anybody. Like, even the worst offense here will score on Bama because they run and they don't play transition defense, right? And I don't think Randy Bennett gives a shit. Like Gonzaga doesn't stop transition defense much either. So I'm gonna play it there. I mean, if you say that, you can say that for any favorite, and you're just gonna take a chalk bracket. It never happens that way. And the teams that have been there, you have 7 seniors on this fucking team, dude. Like, those are the types of teams I want to trust in these types of matchups. So, yeah, I mean, anything you say on here, I mean, you could say, okay, they do this, this, and this. Yeah, they'll win probably. That's how college basketball works on these. So let's head to Midwest to our next one here, the last region.
Sounds good. Yeah, Midwest is an interesting one. I mean, I know we got a question earlier in this division. We've got some interesting social media implications. There's some popular upsets in this one. I mean, Houston, number 1 seed. I think we're pretty confident in them taking care of business round 1. We'll start good. I've seen a lot of stats just as a casual about Gonzaga. I think they're one of the highest rated Ken Palm 8th seeds of all time. Like,
I think they are the highest. Yeah, 9th in Ken Palm and 8th seed in this.
Yeah. So all those kind of stats are like jumping off of the page, and everyone knows Gonzaga. It's no hidden secret. Like, they're probably going to take down Georgia round 1. Are you Gonzaga backer this tournament? You think they got a good chance?
No.
Not a believer. So you think round 1 is the ceiling? You think Houston's kind of a buzzsaw that takes care of business there?
God, yeah. I think dude. I was just saying this to you before the show. Like, you couldn't score 60 on St. Mary's. What are you going to do against fucking Houston? Houston has so many dogs on that team. Like, St. Mary's is running 7, 8 guys. Houston can bring dudes off the bench that'll lock you up, bro. Like, that's my issue is Nemhard is so reliant on getting people open. Like, You just can't get in the paint. You can't score in the paint. Your highest scoring guy is Graham Ike. He ain't doing shit against Roberts if Roberts is fully healthy right now. And he looked like he has been in these last couple games. It's just, Houston is that's my team, man. I'm heavily relying on Houston this year. And I just feel like they're different this year. They finally can score at an elite level. They're a top 10 3-point shooting team. I told you I don't like relying on that, but you can get how many offensive rebounds? That's what's different about them, is they've been heavily relying on missed shots and grabbing offensive rebounds and scoring, but now they're actually hitting those outside shots at a high clip with 3-4 different dudes. I really like Houston here. I wish Gonzaga was in a different one. I probably would take them, but I can't do it here. I can't take Gonzaga.
That's fair. No, I mean that sounds like Houston even could be a good potential ATS team round 2 against Gonzaga, especially if Gonzaga like kicks ass and people are getting on the hype train too as a potential upset. Only thing I have there, I did bet the over Georgia Gonzaga at over 151. Some smart people were on the over, so I joined them there. So that's the.
You want that as an official play on the show, Sue?
No, I mean, maybe. I don't care. I mean,
right.
I don't think anyone should really be listening to my college basketball, but I bet them. They're locked in. They're in the accounts.
I'll put that in. I'll put that on here for Stu's pick here.
That one, and we got to get VCU in there as well then, my boys, because that's who I'm really going to –
VCU plus 2.5?
Yeah, we can do 2.5. I got 3. But we can do 2.5.
I think it's 2.5 right now is what I'm seeing. And then number 2 is which one? It was 151.
Yeah, 151.
I'll just put that minus 110. So I'll make sure I put those 2 in there.
And then I did like I said, I took Danger over 18.5 for props as well. But yeah, we can talk about that a little later. But if we do a final recap at the end. But yeah, what we're talking about here, I got distracted with the props.
What was I going to say? I think, sure, I'll play my second one. I'll make it more of a futures one. I took Houston to win this region at plus 110. I'm looking up and down this region. I think it's plus 110. Let me just put that on here. Sorry, I didn't type that in because I didn't know what I was going to play for my second one. I just look up and down this region. If they beat Gonzaga, which truly, they're only 6-point favorites in that Georgia game. Like, Gonzaga could just lose. They've choked enough. Like, it's not like this is like a lock for them to beat Georgia. Yes, is it a big spread for an 8-9 game? Sure, but Houston has to play probably, Purdue or what? I know everybody wants to bet McNeese, so we could say McNeese, whatever it is. Purdue's way too leaky defensively for me. Give up a ton of threes. High Point, if they find a way to make it there, everybody wants to talk about them. High Point's defense is fucking atrocious. They're terrible defensively. Then you go down this list like McNeese, you're used to playing in the conference that they're playing in, and it's just free, right? You can run, do whatever you want. You're the best team. You have the best athletes, and then you're going to go up against a buzzsaw, and Houston is going to make you play their game. And they're just so hyper-efficient. That's the issue is Houston is too hyper-efficient for me to want to back them against anybody else. I've watched Tennessee play. Their offense is non-existent. I don't like them. I just don't like that offense. I've seen them have way too many lulls against much more inferior defenses than what Houston's going to be bringing here. What was the game that I just watched? Like when I watched them play Florida, like the only way they were scoring was getting to the free throw line because it was just a ref show. I think they'll probably make it through there. I like Kentucky as well. I do like them, but there's too many injuries. Right? If Kentucky was fully healthy, Kentucky would be my pick to take them to Elite Eight against Houston. But I definitely am rolling with Houston here, dude.
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I'll probably be tailing you for the bracket there. I mean, it's kind of a weird region. You know, it seems like Tennessee, I take Tennessee every year. They never really, it's up and down. Some years are good, some years are bad, but I don't know if I really trust them to go to the promised land. The farthest I have them is I do have them beating Kentucky just because I feel like whenever I back Kentucky. They suck. Like I have a lot of bad memories with them recently, and multiple people in my Discord, I feel like they bet Kentucky like all the time and crash out when they lose. So I don't know if I want to be on the Kentucky side in like a big game, but that's as far as I really have Tennessee going beyond that. And to touch on the other one, I did take a little bit of High Point over Purdue. But someone asked a question earlier. I was trying to.
Yeah, it was Thomas.
Yeah, because I was on. He asked about Braden Smith, and I took 18.5 points. So I was there with you on that one. I definitely don't mind the over as well. But yeah, I think both of them, I think there's going to be a lot of points allowed. I think Purdue probably does end up winning, like you said. But if High Point can keep it within 10, it's probably because they had a pretty good 3-point shooting performance. But I agree. I took some Smith props at 18.5 as well.
Yeah, dude, it's tough, man. Both these teams I don't like defensively, so definitely feel like the over is the spot that you're going to want to be playing in there for sure. Any other spots you want to talk about in this one? I know a lot of people want to bet. I've been seeing a lot of Troy love. Really? I can't have any Troy love when I got Mark Pope on the other side. That boy's that's my guy. Don't care how they've been playing. I might go see them. I might go watch them play. I want to get my picture with Mark Pope because he's my fucking guy, dude. He's in Milwaukee this year. So I might be making my way over to those games on Friday. But, yeah. I kind of like Kentucky. If I can get Lamont Butler back for that Tennessee matchup, I think that would be a fun game where I definitely would feel like that matchup for either one of those teams would be tougher than what I'm going to be seeing Houston take, right? Like Houston would have to, mess around with Purdue. Like you can't shoot three. Like you're going to have to hit 15 threes against Houston. And could Purdue do it? Sure. But I mean, I feel like they're going to be able to score however they want. Houston's going to do whatever they want against that defense because Purdue's defense, and I've watched enough Big Ten games to watch those guys just get absolutely shredded.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I'm not backing any of the crazy Troy upsets or anything. I did see I think they have a good advanced analytics profile. I think that's why people like them. They shoot a lot at the rim and from three. So I think people like
that's that. That's why Bama's always ranked number 1, right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what people really love. But my thing is, maybe this is crazy. In the tournament, I almost I want to find out the teams with good isolation players because sure, in the regular season, you can run in transition and you can knock down threes, but it feels like this time of year, a lot of the easy buckets are taken away and you have to grind in your half court offense. And if you don't have isolation scorers, it becomes a lot harder to do that, So I always get kind of worried when a team only kind of pops in those metrics, but doesn't actually have those one-on-one guys you really trust at the end of the line. But I think that's probably personal preference at the end of the day.
No, I mean I agree with you. I feel like Memphis is down to 1.5 now. Jesus Christ, how much is this? Shit. I have to take them to straight money line for. I'm trying to track it, and it's down to 1 plus 110. It should be, but damn. But yeah, I mean Utah State, UCLA, yeah. Let me give you my list, Stu. These are the teams that I bought in my friend one that I told you we were doing. You buy your own team. I believe it's 8 and above seeds that you get to buy teams.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Wisconsin. I had to. I bought St. Mary's to kind of bail me out because if that happens and I get those two, Bama went for $100. I bought St. Mary's for $10. That would be such a massive one for me. I did buy Maryland. I do think they have a chance of making a little run there. And I did buy Michigan State and as well as Houston. Those were my teams that I bought in that spot. So I feel like I have a plethora of teams that have an ability to make a little run. But obviously it comes down to, making shots, right? Making shots and, having – for me, that's why I like – that St. Mary's spot. It's I like having a team that will play defense and play lock up when they need to, right? I feel like that's just a team that kind of goes overlooked because they lost in the final of their championship, even though they did beat Gonzaga twice. So,
yeah, no, I mean, I like the spot. Obviously, I'm definitely I'm definitely liking that draft you made. I'm gonna have to edit some selections a little bit, maybe take a little bit more Maryland over Memphis, a couple of things like that, But I'm excited. It seems like a pretty like wide open tournament, and obviously it's interesting. Every year you hear the same upsets, you see the same chalky picks, and then you get into that first day, and it's just mayhem. And it's nowhere near what anyone expects. It's always crazy. And I think it's just about kind of finding those different spots and getting unique from everybody else, So I'm always out there looking for the big upsets. Hopefully we can, find a couple here.
All right, Stu, tell me your Final Four that you have in your for your thing.
Yeah, it's so bad. Let's see. Yeah, I've got the
chalk 4-1s or.
Well, here's the deal. You're not going to like it. It was 4-1s. And then I went, no, you can't have that. So I put in Tennessee over Houston, which.
Oh, wow. I think if Kentucky gets Lamont Butler back, I think Kentucky beats Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say clearly not aligned with what you talked about.
I actually took your team. I took all three. I took the other 3-1s and took Michigan State to actually beat Auburn. I took the Badgers to the Elite Eight because I have them playing St. Mary's, right? But I feel like those guys are a little bit more equipped to play in a slower style if need be. Obviously, that's a homer pick. I'm a homer, but they have, like, numbers-wise, it comes out for me as well. Yes, I'm hopefully, cross my fingers, hopefully I'll be able to go to that game. I have some tickets on the way. I just got to kind of figure out where I'm going to sit or if I'm going to, wait to get those shit seats, Yeah, I mean, Butler's played. It's just he gets hurt every game now. Like, it's just re-aggravation. That's kind of what kills me. So I want to see him play a full game before I want to take that. I do have Badgers to Sweet 16 at plus 100 in that spot. Obviously, that's the BYU-VCU game, assuming they're going to be a decent-sized favorite in that one. But I took that at plus, I think it was 105. Yeah, dude, I that's what I've been saying, dude. I like that you took plus 6.5. Go against it, go against the grain, man. Because it's like, unless you think that Gonzaga's beating Houston, then it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really matter because it's not going to crush your bracket. But yeah, I think that Kentucky-Troy game will be a fun game. Yeah, dude. I think this will be a good tournament. I mean, do you have anything else, that you want to talk about here before we kind of pop out, or we take a look at any other questions in there?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think we covered a good amount of ground. I'm trying to think if there are any like crazy, like, how do you feel about like big underdogs like week one? Because like Wofford was like plus 18 versus Tennessee. I was kind of like, okay. And then Bryant was like plus 18 versus Michigan State, like stuff like that. Are you ever looking at the big underdogs?
Not really. I don't mind the Bryant spread just because they shoot the lights out of the basketball. It's just Michigan's very good against that. It's just, I don't know if I trust some of these bigger teams to like care. Not because like throughout the season, if you're playing a shit team, you want to blow them out so your numbers go up higher, right? So your net rating moves up. This is just win in advance, bro. Like if you're up 15, they might just pull with 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. Rest your guys' legs because you're playing 2 days. So that's my issue with betting these big spreads, right? The only team that I like betting like that is fucking Houston to keep a team under a total because those motherfuckers bring dudes off the bench that play freaking hard, dude. It's a culture that way, right? Mm-hmm. That's where I kind of like to look, where it's just like Maryland. That's exactly what I was saying about Maryland. Maryland gets up 18 points. Say they're up 18 with 3 minutes left. You pull your guys, and then you're playing fucking scrubs. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the championship game for Grand Canyon, right? I mean, this is huge, right? So they have Tyon Grant Foster, good spot. Like, I would lean that way at the 10.5 number. But, like, I think Maryland is just significantly more talented. It's just there's some of these teams that just shoot the lights out of a basketball, man. And that's what kind of scares you when you're betting these, some of these teams where it's like, go down this list, like Michigan State. Like, the reason why I like them is that they don't allow you to shoot three ball well, right? 27%, number 2 in the country. Tennessee's the only one better, right? It's just, I that's the reason why I kind of like these teams, right? I mean, Houston, like, doesn't allow anything in the paint. Like, you eliminate things completely, And it's tough, man. It's tough to really want to bet some of these teams that are just like, I have to shoot threes to win this game.
Yeah.
Right? Like that it just scares me off, some of these teams, because like Marquette, that's why I've been watching a lot of people take Marquette to beat Michigan State. Marquette shoots a fuck ton of threes, dude. And you're going to go as the number 2 team in the country against guarding the 3-ball, and you think they're going to do well? Like, no one's done well against them. And they have – how many of these Big Ten teams are top 50 in three-point shooting? Like, Iowa shoots a fuckload of threes. Wisconsin shoots a fuckload of threes. You go down the list, Big Ten shoots a lot of threes. And Michigan State's done extremely well against them. Obviously, they won the conference in the regular season because they've been that good against the three-point ball. So just something to put in there. Like, you should be looking – like, those are the stats that I like to use, because those are, important to me when I look at, some of these numbers is, can you take away what the other team does well? And in these spots, it's like, do you have a guy who can take a game over, right? So, obviously, there's always going to be a game where a team shoots 60% from three. I mean, it's going to happen. You just got to hope it's not one of your teams that you made go very far. So, I don't think I have too much else. I like to see some people on other things. I think that's important. We enjoy that dialogue. I obviously, I didn't think that everybody was going to like my St. Mary's pick, so I'm happy that we had somebody kind of coming on the other side there as well. I think we had a good show here. I think we got a lot of stuff out. As always, if you guys have any questions going into tonight, just drop them in the comments, and we'll try to get to them before the games tomorrow, before you have to lock in your brackets.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Obviously, definitely leave a comment below if you missed us live. We'll be here checking in on them. Obviously, I won't be able to really give any good answers, but I'm sure you'll be able to assist with any questions people have. But yeah, I'll probably drop some props on Twitter as well tomorrow, just because I want to have action in all these games, but it's like the sides and totals are sharp. The props are kind of hit or miss. You got a better chance to pick them off. So definitely excited. It's the best time of the year. Yeah, no, I that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Colorado State opened up 2.5, got up to 3. Now it's 1.5. Like, you go up and down these lists, like some of these numbers are like Baylor opened up 1.5. Now they're plus 1.5. Like, a lot of the value is probably gone already. Obviously, if you are around your phone, live bets are where you got to live a lot of the times in some of these. Like, if you've lost the value already, I'm not saying just sit there and just fucking hammer out bets live. I'm saying, like, some of these numbers moved a little bit too much for me where I don't want to play them open. But then we can obviously get better lines. The team starts out hot. Like, you're going to see a lot of that. Like, you're going to be like, holy shit, why is this team down 9-2? They hit 3 threes, and 2 of them were fucking contested, right? It happens. It's basketball, but then you expect that team to, be able to grind their way back. So definitely something to look at if you do have access. If you're off work, I'm off on Friday. I'm not going to be off Thursday, so that makes it a little bit tougher for me, but just another thing to throw out there. And then finally, before we get out of here, anything on tonight's game, Xavier, Texas, any opinions on what American, Mount St. Mary's, any of those? American was one of my freebie teams that I ended up getting default wise, because I ended up drafting, I think, Creighton second, so I had the second to last team, and it was American. So I'm cheering for American. I don't need to put a bet on it, because if they win, I make my money back on them. So sure, so I'm chilling with that, and I'm good with like the $5 there. Like, I don't need to feel like I need to put more money on a game that's just gonna be a fucking man. No, that's fair. What about Texas? Texas is a dog, 3.5. That seemed kind of tempting to me. I don't know, Stu. That's a tough one, man. Like, Fremantle back makes Xavier a completely different team. Again, you just saw how desperate some of these teams are when they get in. Like Xavier was on the last 4 out of a lot of brackets, a lot of bracketology. So, thing is Texas has the best player on the floor against 99% of the teams in this tournament with Tez Johnson. So, I like usually having the team that has the best player on the floor. It's just 3.5 seems really fucking sharp, dude. Like, that's a sharp ass line. Like, especially with Xavier being fully healthy now too. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get involved in that game. If anything, I feel like I always lean unders in a lot of these games. Neutral court, etc. But like looking at this one, like I think it's look at
like the tough part is it's in Ohio, isn't it? I feel like all these are in Dayton. Xavier ain't far from there, bro. Like that's like they're gonna have the crowd. They should have the crowd there. So this is damn near a home game. I gotta look at where Xavier is, like exactly. So it's like that's not far. That has to be within like a couple hours max.
Yeah.
So you're getting almost a home game for Xavier. And I see that the line's moving now. There's like -2.5. So I probably would lean Xavier if I had to take a spot. But if I'm going to take props, obviously I'm only betting on Tez.
Sounds good. Yeah, I might take a little test tonight. We'll see what happens, but it depends on how good the NBA slate is, if we got that or not. But yeah, no, I think today was great. I don't know if you want to recap real quick one more time before we get out of here, but yeah.
Yeah, so I took Memphis +2.5, -108. I got a 3, luckily, like opening day. Obviously, I send those out early on those ones that I like. I also took +100, +110 on Houston to win the Midwest region, and kick it over to you, Stu, for some more dogs here.
Yep, I got VCU as a dog, taking them in a lot of my brackets. Hopefully, don't get burned by the 3. And then got a little bit of a total action. I took the Gonzaga, Georgia over 151. I also talked about earlier, I took the Wisconsin, Montana over 152 in that one. I took Dane Danger over 18.5 points. Coolest name possible to bet on. I didn't even know that was his name. That is very sick. So excited to bet on that guy. And yeah, hopefully we can win some. But I also got Chase Hunter over 15.5 points. That was the other one. I didn't talk about it in that Clemson McNeese game, but that's my other fairly big bet that I have locked in so far. And yeah, excited to watch the tournament. Excited to see all the mayhem unfold and hopefully win a little bit of money along the way.
Yes, sir. Hey, as I always say, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the chat. Obviously, I hopefully will be able to get to them before the games start. Luckily for me, I don't work tomorrow till like 2, so I can watch the first little bit, and I should be able to answer any questions on any of those. Like I said, hopefully it's Houston. I made them in my multiplier team, and I'm excited. So hopefully they can get a job done for your boy here, and I got to make sure I get him in a couple other brackets. So thank you guys for tuning in. I know it was a little longer show. Hopefully you guys learned something, maybe took something away, maybe it helped you a little bit on anything like that. But if you have any other questions, drop them in the chat. We'll do our best. Thank you guys, and best of luck on this March Madness tournament.